It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm walking the shoreline, looking for a fix. The tide is pulling back from the edges of the pier, leaving all the wreckage of another lonely year. I found a piece of timber, bleached white by the salt, a jagged little witness to a love that wasn't my fault. It's smooth to the touch, but it's hollow to the core, just like the heart I'm carrying along the ocean floor. The current took the always, the waves took the stay. Now I'm just watching the better parts of us wash away. I'm a navigator searching for a star that's gone cold, clinging to a story that's already been told. Now we're just driftwood memories, floating out to sea, tossed by the water as far as we can be. Stripped of the color and the life we used to know, going wherever the winter currents blow. No roots in the garden, no anchor in the sand, just fragments of a promise from a far and distant land. Yeah, we're just driftwood memories now. I remember when we were a forest tall and green, the strongest of spirits that the world had ever seen. But the storm came in early and the lightning struck deep, and we became the secrets that the heavy oceans keep. Now I'm just a splinter on a weathered broken branch, lost in the middle of a saltwater avalanche. I see you on the horizon, but you're drifting out of view. Another piece of wreckage that used to look like you. They say that wood gets stronger the longer that it's soaked, but I'm just feeling heavy, I'm just feeling choked by the weight of the water and the pull of the moon. I didn't think the ending would find us quite soon. Yeah, we're just driftwood memories, floating out to sea, tossed by the water as far as we can be. Stripped of the color and the life we used to know, going wherever the winter currents blow. No roots in the garden, no anchor in the sand, just fragments of a promise from a far and distant land. Yeah, we're just driftwood memories now. Let the tide take me, let the salt sting. I'm letting go of the branches and every beautiful thing, just floating, just washing against a different shore. I'm not the tree I used to be anymore. Driftwood memories, drifting, gone. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2020 suit. I'm looking for a feeling that I can't quite fix. The hallway is a tunnel of 100 shades of gray. Since you took your keys and you walked the other way, I'm standing in the kitchen where we used to share a glass, watching every shadow of our forever pass. The city's humming outside like it doesn't even know that I'm living in a museum of a love from long ago. I used to fear the darkness, used to fear the night, but now I'm terrified of the artificial light. It shows me every corner where your ghost doesn't stand, in the hollow, heavy space where I used to hold your hand. Now I'm just living under empty apartment lights, burning through the silence of these cold and winter nights, illuminating dust where your footsteps used to be, painting every memory in a harsh and pale degree. I'm a prisoner of the glow, I'm a victim of the glare, shining on the rhythm of the life no longer there. Yeah, I'm just fading under empty apartment lights. I saw the mark on the wall where the picture used to hang, a quiet little echo of the door that never rang. I haven't changed the bulb in the lamp beside the bed. I'd rather stay in shadows than remember what you said. Every humming wire, every flicker in the hall is just a sharp reminder of the way we had to fall. I walk from room to room, but I'm just pacing on a stage, the final lonely sentence of a long and beautiful page. They say that light is healing, they say that it's the truth, but it's only showing me the wreckage of my youth. I'd trade 1,000 sunrise eyes for one more hour of blind, to keep the vision of your face from leaving me behind. Now I'm just living under empty apartment lights, burning through the silence of these cold and winter nights, illuminating dust where your footsteps used to be, painting every memory in a harsh and pale degree. I'm a prisoner of the glow, I'm a victim of the glare, shining on the rhythm of the life no longer there. Yeah, I'm just fading empty apartment lights. Turn 'em off, I don't wanna see the floor. Turn 'em off, I don't wanna see the door. Just me and the black, and the fact you're not coming back. One last flicker before the dark is right. Empty apartment lights. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm looking for a feeling that I can't quite fix. The mercury is dropping, the sky is turning lit, and I'm pacing on the carpet where the always was set. I'm looking out the window at the patch of asphalt gray where we used to stand and talk the whole world away. The neighborhood is sleeping, tucked and frozen and tight, except for that old lamp flickering into the night. I remember how you told me we were grounded in the storm, that no matter where we wandered, I'd never be alone. But the wind is cutting through the cracks in the door, and I don't hear your footsteps on the stairs anymore. I'm just living on a fake streetlight promise, searching for the us that was taken from us. A flickering yellow in a world gone black, waiting for a shadow that is never coming back. It's a weak kind of comfort, a fragile kind of glow, shining on the places where you let me go. Yeah, I'm holding on to nothing but a faint streetlight promise. I saw a silhouette dancing in the orange gold haze, and for a second I was back in our summer drenched days. But the light gave a shudder and the image turned thin. It was just the winter branches letting the cold air in. I'm standing in the kitchen, I'm staring at the glow, wondering how much further I have left to go before I stop believing that the hum in the wire is the ghost of your voice and the ghost of our fire. They say that the dawn is when the truth finally wakes, but it's the darkness that knows just how much a heart breaks. I'd rather stay here in the buzz and the hum than face a 2026 morning where you'll never come. Now I'm just living on a faint streetlight promise, searching for the us that was taken from us. A flickering yellow in a world gone black, waiting for a shadow that is never coming back. It's a weak kind of comfort, a fragile kind of glow, shining on the places where you let me go. Yeah, I'm holding on to nothing but a faint streetlight promise. One more flicker, then the dark takes the street. One more heartbeat before the silence is complete. I'm still here, waiting for the light to stay, but it's just a faint promise fading away. Fading away. Just a promise in the dark. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm looking for the words I forgot how to mix. The air in this kitchen is heavy and still, like the frost holding on to the windowsill. I tried to scream your name when you walked out the door, but the sound didn't make it to the wooden floor. I caught it in my palm, I tucked it away, and I haven't found anything better to say. I'm a collector of things that were never expressed, of the don't leave me yet, hiding deep in my chest. I'm lining them up on a shelf in the dark, each one a cold and a hollowed out spark. And it's just glass bottle silence, row after row of the million I love yous I couldn't let go. Transparent and fragile and dangerously thin, keeping the wreckage of always tucked in. If I let one break, would the walls start to shake, or would I just drown in the heart-shaped ache? I'm living on glass bottle silence tonight. I saw you today in the town's winter light. You look like a dream that's been polished and bright. I opened my mouth just to tell you the news, that I'm wearing the holes in the soles of my shoes, but the cork wouldn't budge and the pressure was high. So I just gave a wave and I let you pass by. Another moment trapped in a cylinder of green, adding to the space and the static between. They say that the truth is what sets us all free, but the truth is a weight that is sinking with me. I'm a museum of secrets, a gallery of finding the sting in a ghost of a kiss. Yeah, it's just glass bottle silence. Row after row of the million I love yous I couldn't let go. Transparent and fragile and dangerously thin. Keeping the wreckage of always tucked in. If I let one break, would the walls start to shake? Or would I just drown in the heart-shaped day? I'm living on glass bottle silence tonight. So I'll keep the lid on. I'll keep the seal tight. I'm not ready to hear how I'm losing the light. Just a shelf full of almost, just a jar full of gone. I'll stay in the quiet until the break of the dawn. Glass bottled silence. Don't let it break. Don't let it break. It's Monday, January 19th, 2026. Looking for the pieces I'm not supposed to fix. They told me that the anger was the only way through, to burn down the bridges that lead back to you. So I tried to be stone and I tried to be cold, to sharpen the edges of the stories I told. But the frost on the window is starting to melt, and I'm stuck with the kindness I've always felt. I should have grown bitter, I should have grown hard, I should have put a fence around this broken backyard. But the soil is still open, the heart is still green, even after the winter and the spaces between. You left, but I stayed soft. I didn't let the fire turn to frost. I kept the door unlocked and the candle in the pain, even knowing you won't walk through the rain. The world says I'm foolish for feeling this much, for keeping a spirit that's still honest to your touch. You went for the armor, you went for the loft, but you left, and I stayed soft. I saw your new life in a picture today. You look like a statue all chiseled in gray. You've got a look in your eye like you're ready for war, like you don't even remember what we started this for. Me, I'm still here with my heart on my sleeve, believing in things that you had to leave. I still cry at the movies, I still love the light. I didn't let the darkness take away my sight. It would be easier to hate you, to call you a thief, to build a high wall out of jagged edge grief. But I'd rather be broken and open and true than a hollowed out version of the person you knew. You left, but I stayed soft. I didn't let the fire turn to frost. I kept the door unlocked and the candle in the pain, even knowing you won't walk through the rain. The world says I'm foolish for feeling this much, for keeping a spirit that's still honest to your touch. You went for the armor, you went for the loft, but you left, and I stayed silent. I'm still vulnerable, I'm still here. I didn't let the heartbreak turn into fear. Go ahead and be iron, go ahead and be strong. I'll be the one where the mercy belongs. You left, and I stayed. So the calendar flipped to January 22, you see, a brand new year. But I'm still writing to a person who is no longer here. I'm sitting at the table where the kitchen light is dim, filling up the margins, writing right up to the rim. I talk about the weather and the frost upon the pane, anything to keep from mentioning the thickness of the pain. I'm licking every stamp with the salt of my own tears, mailing off my heart across the distance of the years. I know the postman won't find you at that old street address, but it's the only way I know to manage all this mess. I'm building up a tower of the things I never said, sending messages to a ghost inside my head. They're just my midnight postcards sent into the blue, a paper trail of I'm still lost without you, addressing every shadow, nailing every sigh into the empty corners of a black and hollow sky. They'll never reach your doorstep, they'll never see your hand, just letters to a traveler in a far and distant land. Yeah, I'm just writing midnight postcards to the dark. I saw a picture of you today, you've changed your hair. You look like someone happy with a life that I don't share. I almost tore the card in two, I almost threw the pen, but then the silence found me and I started up again. I told you that the garden's dead, I told you I'm okay. I lied about the way I feel 100 times a day. It's a one-way conversation, a desperate quiet plea, wrapped in a 2020 C stamp and sent out to the sea. The drawer is overflowing with the wish you were here. The ink is getting smudged by the passage of the fears. If I stop writing, then you're truly finally gone, and I can't face the quiet of the coming of the dawn. They're just my midnight postcards sent to the blue. A paper trail of I'm still lost without you. Addressing every shadow, mailing every sigh into the empty corners of a black and hollow sky. They'll never reach your doorstep, they'll never see your hand. Just letters to a traveler in a far and distant land. Yeah, I'm just writing midnight postcards to the dark. No return address, no signature at the end. Just a message from a lover who's forgotten how to be a friend. Dropping it in the box, hearing the hollow sound. Another piece of us falling to the ground. Midnight postcards, wish you were here, wish you were here. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm looking for a flame that I don't know how to fix. The sky is turning charcoal and the air is biting thin as the winter of the world starts to settle on my skin. I found the old sketches on the table by the door of the life we were building but don't want anymore. We were thin as tissue, we were light as the breeze. We painted our wishes on this side of the night, thinking our passion was a permanent light. But we're fragile and hollow, we're built out of glass, watching the glow of our forever past. We were just paper and hearts, drifting in the dark, fueling the fire with a solitary spark. So beautiful and glowing, so easy to tear, floating on the whispers of a cold and empty air. But the rain started falling and the wind began to rise, and I watched the light flicker in your tired eyes. Now we're falling to the ground, scattered and apart, just the ashes of a paper lantern heart. I walked past the river where we let the dreams go, before the water turned to ice and the rain turned to snow. I saw a scrap of silk tangled deep in the reeds, beats, a bitter little witness to our desperate needs. I try to reach out, try to smooth out the folds, but there's nothing left for a hollow hand to hold. The ink is all running, the colors are bled, just like the words that we finally said. One touch of the match and we started to fly, rising above all the earth and the sky. But the higher we climbed, the more the heat started to fade, until we were just ghosts of the choices we made. We were just paper and hearts, drifting in the dark, fueling the fire with a solitary spark. So beautiful and glowing, so easy to tear, floating on the whispers of a cold and empty air. But the rain started falling and the wind began to rise, and I watched the light flicker in your tired eyes. Now we're falling to the ground, scattered and apart, just the ashes of a paper lantern heart. So light another candle, but it won't be for us. Just a handful of wire and a handful of dust, floating away in the January gray. Just paper, just a heart falling apart. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 20 TCs. I'm looking for the habits that I can't quite unfix. I saw your denim jacket hanging lonesome on the hook, the one you left behind without a second look. I pulled it to my chest just to see if you were there, but the denim's getting colder in the biting winter air. And right there on the fabric where your neck used to be is a stain from the night you said goodbye to me. I try to wash it out, try to scrub away the ghosts, but the memories are the things that always hurt the most. I'm tracing the white lines, the traces of the sea, of the final bitter tears that fell from you and me. Now I'm just staring at the salt on your collar, a ghost of a scream that turned into a holler, the dried up remains of the way that we broke, the weight of the words that we finally spoke. It's a jagged little map of the end of the line, a crystalline witness that you're no longer mine. Yeah, I'm holding on to nothing but Put the salt on your collar. I remember how the rain fell, turning into sleet as we stood like two statues on a quiet city street. You were crying for the freedom, I was crying for the loss. Neither one of us counting up the heavy holocaust. Now the January wind is whistling through the hall, and the jacket is a shadow against the kitchen wall. It's got the scent of the evening and the sting of the tide, and a secret kind of sorrow that it's trying to hide. They say that salt is a healer, that it cleanses the wound, but I'm just a drifter on a melody out of tune. It's a permanent scar on a temporary cloth, like the dust on the wings of a dying winter moth. Yeah, I'm staring at the salt on your collar, a ghost of a scream that turned into a holler, the dried up remains of the way that we broke, the weight of the words that we finally spoke. It's a jagged little map of the end of the line, a crystalline witness that you're no longer mine. Yeah, I'm holding on to nothing but the salt on your collar. I should throw it in the fire, I should give it away, but it's the only part of us that decided to stay, stained in the fibers, dried in the thread, the salt of the always, and the salt of the dead. Just salt. On your collar, just salt. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm looking for a signal that I can't quite fix. The winter air is thin, the sky is static gray, as I watch the ghost of us slowly drift away. I'm sitting in the kitchen where the shadows grow long, trying to remember the words to our song, but the frequency is shifting, the dial is stuck, and I'm out of time and I'm out of luck. I used to hear you clearly like a bell in the night. Every whisper was a melody, every breath was light, but the miles are stacking up like snow on the road, and I'm carrying the weight of a heavy, silent cold. Now you're just a slow, distant radio, fading in the static where the cold winds blow. A melody I used to know by heart and by soul. Now I'm just a listener who's lost all control. I'm catching bits of laughter and a jagged little phrase, lost in the white noise of these lonely winter days. Yeah, go, just a slow, distant radio. I walk past the station where we used to wait, before the love turned into a heavy kind of weight. I thought I heard your voice in the humming of the wire, a flicker of the flame, a remnant of the fire. But it's just the interference of a world moving on, while I'm still standing here, waiting for the dawn. I'm straining for a signal through the feedback and the rain, but all I'm getting back is the vibration of the pain. Sometimes I think I found you in the quiet of the dark, a crystal clear moment, a solitary spark. But then the tower falls and the connection breaks in two, and I'm back to the humming of a life without you. Now you're just a slow, distant radio, fading in the static where the cold winds blow. A melody I used to know by heart and by soul. Now I'm just a listener who's lost all control. I'm catching bits of laughter in a jagged little phrase, lost in the white noise of these lonely winter days. Yeah, you're drifting out of reach, nowhere left to go, just a slow, distant radio. Turn the volume up, but the signal's nearly gone. I'm losing the rhythm as I stumble into dawn. Just a crackle, just a hum. The person I loved has finally gone dark, searching for the station, searching for you. Slow, distant radio. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. I'm looking for a frequency I can't quite fix. The needle's hovering over the edge of the black, like a traveler afraid of the path heading back. I found that record we bought in the rain, before we knew how to spell each other's pain. The dust has settled in the grooves of the song, where everything right started turning around. I drop the arm and I wait for the hiss, the static that sounds like a ghost of a kiss. The motor is spinning, the rhythm is slow, as I prepare for the places I'm not supposed to go. Now I'm just dancing with vinyl shadows on the wall, watching the ghost of our forever start to fall. It's a 33 RPM kind of heartbreak tonight, spinning in circles just out of the light. The crackle and the the pop are the only sounds left in a house that's been hollowed and a heart that's bereft. Yeah, I'm lost in the final shadows of you. I remember the way that the bridge used to swell, back when we had a beautiful story to tell. Now the vinyl is warped from the heat of the tears and the salt that's been gathering over the years. It skips on the part where you said you would stay, a stuttering memory that won't go away. I love on repeat in a room where the silence is finally complete. There's a scratch on the surface, a jagged little line that marks the exact moment you weren't mine. I could turn off the power, I could stop the machine, but I'm addicted to the music and the spaces in between. Yeah, I'm dancing with final shadows on the wall, watching the ghost of our forever start to fall. It's a 33 RPM kind of heartbreak tonight, spinning in circles just out of the light. The crackle and the pop are the only sounds left in a house that's been hollowed and a heart that's bereft. Yeah, I'm lost in the final shadows of you. The sight is over, the needle's at the end, clicking in the center, around the corner of a friend. Just a rhythmic thumping against the inner ring. The end of the record, the end of everything. Final shadows fading into black. Flip it over, but you're never coming back.